Hey everybody, and welcome to a Let's Play of a game I just recently purchased on the Steam Summer Sale for $12, Age of Wonders 3. So I've been playing for probably about maybe 15 hours, or maybe 20 or something like that now, I don't know. So I thought I would just give a little intro to the game here. So the game has a campaign and a number of scenarios. I'm actually just going to go ahead and play a normal empire building style game, which is more like a traditional turn-based strategy game where you start with a small city or a settler and a hero and you kind of build yourself out from there. Let's do this on a small map. Interesting. Let's do a land-based map and night difficulty. Cool, alright. Me versus just one other player, I think should be fine. Okay, cool. So this is a fantasy-themed turn-based strategy game. So we have, and it's hero-focused. So we have a number of classes we can choose from here. We have sorcerers, rogues. Oh, I see this. Right, I'm choosing from the drop-down. I can also just customize my own because why not, right? So we have warlords, which are combat-focused, theocrats, which are like crusaders, archdruid, which is like, you know, nature, dreadnought, which are machine-themed, sorcerers, rogues, and warlords again. So notice how none of these, except for maybe the theocrat, is particularly good or evil, because you can actually kind of make them good or evil as the game goes on. Theocrat's pretty good. Trying to decide maybe between sorcerer and rogue. Sorcerer is pretty cool though, right? Okay, and then we have a number of races here. So we have dwarves, goblins, orcs, males, or I'm sorry, humans, elves, draconians. Draconians look cool. And dwarves again. Each of them is going to have some special abilities. Wow, okay, yeah, so let's bring up the old Tome of Wonders here. Looks like we also have some other races that aren't actually in here. I'm not playing with the expansions. So Tigran, orcs. There's like a bunch of different abilities that they describe here. I mean, since we don't know which one to go with, we should just go with what we think looks the coolest, right? Goblins were actually super cool. They kind of have bonuses to growth, which I really like. Orcs were interesting, although they are a little bit more combat focused. Humans have like some sea abilities. Elves are really cool. Draconians are also pretty cool. I made a dwarf last time and I liked him. So I'm thinking maybe elf here or a goblin. You know, I gotta go with goblins, man. Goblins are amazing. And I could go a female too if I want. I like how that just like changes your dress there. What we gotta do for the female goblin sorceress. Okay, we also have 3 specializations we can choose from here. So we can choose an element: air, earth, fire, water, creation, destruction. And then we can also choose this expander and these explorer traits. Those are pretty cool. Should I go for destruction? For evil? Or I could go for creation and be good. This game definitely doesn't necessarily make goblins evil. Creation's all about healing. Destruction is all about whatever. We gotta go for destruction. We can also put 2 points into destruction and go for a master of destruction, which gives us even more abilities, which is pretty cool. Or I could go for like destruction and fire. Master of fire. Or I could do... Ooh, look at that. I think I have to do Master of Destruction. Evil. Sure. Alright. Now, the most exciting part, you can just completely randomize what your character looks like. Or, not randomize, but, like, completely choose. Let's just start with something random. that looks pretty cool. She looks not evil enough. Isn't that a guy? What? How did that make my character male? Oh, I see. It's right here. Oh, cool. We can give her a sweet thing. Okay, this looks pretty cool. Let's do a female version of this. Yeah! That looks great. Let's see if we want to give her maybe an accessory. There's a tiara, a monocle. Ooh, monocle looks pretty good. There's a little crown, some earrings, a halo. Some sweet earrings. Freaking... It's like a Nacho Libre kind of a mask thing going on. Nothing. Here we go. How about that? That looks pretty good. Oh, we can change the scene too. How interesting. Look at that. I like that jungle one though. That looks good. Alright. We're gonna save the leader. We gotta give... No, we cannot name her Baradir the Bald. Eggin. I don't know. What's a goblin-y name? Muzulft. Isn't that from like a Elder Scrolls or something? Muzulft. The Bald. The Evil. I don't know. Yennefer. Iggy Mizult. Is that even a girl name? I don't know. Alright, done. Change your coat of arms. That's pretty sick. Done. Bam. Go. Get into the game. Alright. Alright. Your rise to power begins. Iggy Mizult. Alright. So here's the map. This is basically a, here's a world map. We can zoom way out and see the whole thing. It kind of switches to like this token view. What we can see here is there's an army right there on top of whatever this item is. This actually happens to be a mana node. And we can see what the enemies are. They're Phantasm Warriors on top of a mana node. What do we got here? We've got a big army. Some other guy. A Warg Rider. We've got a gold mine. We've got a farm, which is really good. I'm actually going to scout a little bit. What is that? Refugee camp, okay. Oh, look at this. What is this? This is a water node, which is bad for me because I am fire. How do I look at my character? I am fire themed. Okay, so never mind. Water nodes are only bad for you if you're a master. Oh shit, okay. Maybe we'll walk up here. Okay, so there seems to be nothing up there. I just want to make sure that I... Ooh, wow, look at that. Another mana node. That's amazing. Okay. Here's a dungeon that's legendary. Here's a refugee camp. So, how cities in this game can get pretty darn big. So I'm gonna go maybe right here. Something we want to take into account is the terrain. Wow, why is my lady unhappy? Oh, she's just content, I see. Okay. So, maybe I'll go right here. Let's take this. Choose where we're going to found our city. In fact, actually, that seems pretty good, honestly. It's not like there's really anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe we'll go like that. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away to get to that leftmost mana node. Definitely seems like this is probably the best choice. Slow tour. Excellent. And I'm out of move points. Okay, so we got our units, our armies on the map. That's really important. This guy is a hero that's trying to join our empire. Let's click on the little thing here. He is a crusader. He wants to join our forces for 100. I'm going to tell him not now because I kind of want to play a little bit carefully with my money. Okay, so this is our spell book, where we can learn... Basically, it's like our racial technologies over the course of the game. We'll learn two things. We'll learn all of our empire abilities, but we'll also learn abilities that our hero will learn in combat. So we've got like Magic Fist, Hasty Plunder, Glyph of Warding. Wow, that's a cool ability. Dispel, which is pretty good. Produce Apprentices, which are like little mages. It's our first tier mage. School of Teleportation, support units, receive projectile resistance, and the phase ability. What spells do I currently have already? I have Summon Wisp, Transform to Destruction Node, Dread Omen, Fireball, Killer Instinct, 50% more critical damage, and gains Race Killer until the end of combat. Fire Node mana bonus, Destruction Node mana bonus, and Destruction Affinity. Okay. Sure. How do I make something? Transform to Destruction Node. Got it. I'm gonna go ahead and start channeling a Wisp, which will summon a new unit on the battlefield for me. And I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna go for... Magic Fist. Seems good. It's a damage ability. Okay, here's our objectives. Defeat all rival empires. You can win with allies. Protect your leader and throne city. So if you lose your throne city and also your leader, you lose. Okay, cool. Same theocrat from before. He's riding a raptor. I'll tell him not now. Okay, so here's my first city. Wow, okay. So you can see this is a hex-based game, and my city obviously has his little area around him here. Now, unlike games like Civilization, I don't actually need to do anything to nodes to make them productive, other than just clear them out of enemies. So here is some enemies here that need to be cleared, control enemies, like a PvE kind of a thing. And once those are cleared, I automatically get those bonuses. We can see here, these are the bonuses that my city is producing. 20 production. It has 300 population currently. This is knowledge, which is like research, mana, which is a resource, and gold, which is also a resource. And they're growing by 150 people per turn, which is really good. I can also build some units. I can build some buildings. We're going to hold off on that for now. I'm going to go ahead and summon my Wisp. Boom. Got a Wisp, and I'm actually just going to use this guy as a scout for now. What do we got here? Okay, here's a watchtower. Great. Okay, so that's that guy's movements all expended. I think it's time to go fight on this farm. Adds population growth to this when located in your domain, so that's actually really good. Let's go ahead. Oh, looks like they are trembling in fear before me, and they're... I can either fight them or I can let them run away. I'm going for evil here, so I am going to no mercy. Okay, so this is about... A battle is about to begin. I can choose to auto-combat, or I can choose to manually combat. Manual combat is fun, so that's what we're going to do. Cool, so this is the combat... area. So this is a big part of the game. A large part of the game is, you could say that they have a weaker macro game and a much deeper micro game than games like, say, Civilization. So this is fun. Okay, so here's all the armies that were in my group. I don't know if you noticed before, but I actually had 6 guys stacked together on that single hex with my hero. So here they are. I have a Storm Darter, a Butcher. I have my hero herself, Iggy Mzulft. She's riding that thing. I've got a Blight Doctor, an Untouchable, and also another Untouchable. So I can bring up details on any unit if I just click on their portrait up here. So these guys are a Tier 1 infantry. Oh no, I'm sorry, they're not infantry, they're irregular. So irregulars are diverse units that are kind of a little bit of... They fulfill multiple roles kind of a thing. They have this disgusting stench ability. They make anyone near them have -1 resistance to magic and -300 happiness, which is a big deal. They're also extremely resistant to blight. They also have a passive ability to inflict noxious vulnerability, which makes the unit less magic resistant and less happy. They have a melee strike and they have a poison spit ability. Cool. And they can do multiple shots of that too. Let's hold off on that for now. So, this game uses an action system. My character has 3 action points. I can spend them all on moving. I still always get 1 action point afterwards. Cure disease. But if I choose to use them on attacking instead, I can get multiple attacks out. So we can see here I'll do 3 to 4 damage 3 times with a range penalty because he is longer than 3 squares away. If I stay anywhere in the green, it will not consume any actions. If I move into the yellow, it will consume 1. And if I move into the orange, it will consume 2, I guess. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move here. So I still have all 3 actions here. And now my range penalty has gone away, so I'm not doing 3 to 4, I'm doing 6 to 8, and I'm still doing it 3 times, which is great. So let's go ahead and do that. Whoosh. Whoosh. Good work. Alright, so I did some damage to that guy. So now I'm thinking maybe what I ought to do with this Goblin Untouchable here is I've got to start moving up here. I think this is going to be a good example. So I'm going to move into this 2 range here. I lose 1 of my actions here, and I can take this Poison Spit ability. Oh, okay, I see. This is a little bit different than the Blight Doctors in that it's just kind of a one-shot deal. I don't get to use it multiple times, but it still suffers from the traditional range benefits. So there's no loss to me, say, moving over here and then making the shot, because it always consumes all my actions. They don't have an ability to make multiple shots like the Blight Doctors do. And that's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and send my butchers in, and I'm actually going to put them in between the rest of my army so that they have to walk around the guys if they want to get the rest of my army. And he has done a counterattack, which hit me. Wow, these guys are awesome. Do they have lifesteal? They do. Is that right? Lifesteal, yeah. Every time they attack, 3 to 5 health restored, which is incredible. So we can do something really similar here with these guys. Let's move these guys over, and they're irregular, so they're all about mobility. They don't get that benefit from not moving like the Blight Doctors did. So feel free to move as much as you want. Cool, so we've only got 1 hero left. What do we got? I could cast a fireball. And that wouldn't do very much against this Fell Horse since he has fire protection. If I want to see what abilities an enemy has, I can just bring up their portrait here and see he has fire protection. He's also dedicated to good, so if I had something that was... I don't know. I think that means I couldn't have him if I'm going for that. Okay. So, here's another deal. I actually have a melee attack. I also have a ranged attack. If I try to apply my ranged attack, though, we can see here it is being blocked line of sight by my units. So, that's giving me a 50% penalty. I still get my 3 shots, but each only does 2. However, if I move, say... I don't actually want to move. So I'm not going to give that an example. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cast... I want to cast a spell, but actually I only have 20 mana right now for my whole empire, and I want to save it for a different spell. So I'm going to move up 1 square, which gets rid of that range debuff. I still have the line of sight penalty, but I still get all 3 of my shots, and I'll just take my 3 shots. So she seems to have an item that gives her the shock ability. It's not inherent to her character. Oh, look at this. I have this Swarm Darter. Oops. Range medium can trigger up to 3 times. So it's like that other ability my other guys had. Oof. This is a tough choice. If I choose to go here, then if the Fell Horse tries to attack me, he will only suffer 1 attack of opportunity from my butchers. But I think I'm going to do it. So I only get 1 shot here, but at least it's in range, and so that would be better for subsequent rounds if they matter. Okay, I'm done with all my guys. It's now his turn. He is just going to take a defense action. Okay, so here's a really good example. I now have this opportunity to attack in melee range with a melee unit for a lot of damage, 10 to 16, 3 times, because I get to consume all 3 of my actions since none of them are spent for moving. However, my opponent also gets 3 actions for retaliation, and we'll notice they also do a significant amount of damage, 6 to 8 physical, and then 2 to 4, you can see it, it's up right here, just to the left of my character, and 2 to 4 fire. So his damage is actually mixed. And we can see that here in his melee strike is physical and also fire. So we're actually going to avoid this whole counterattack thing, and we're just going to ranged attack him. And we're going to do it with the Blight Doctors. Let's move up 1 so we get 3 shots. And 3 shots away. Notice how he also turned to face them, which is really important. I did it! I won a battle. And here's the status of my army. It looks like my butchers just took a little bit of damage. And we're good to go. Cool. And it looks like I got some loot. I got a warg. And I got some gold. Let's look. I have to choose if I want gold or if I want the warg. I'm going to take the warg. Let's see what this guy is all about. Melee strike, walking, overwhelm. Overwhelm means he gets bonus damage versus units that are weak to being overwhelmed, particularly shielded enemies and pike-type enemies. He also has first strike, so if he's defending someone, he gets to attack the person first, which is really good. And he's really fast. And he's night vision. Wow. Okay. So let's move here. Cool, so I grabbed a little goodie hut here, which just gave me a large amount of population. A huge amount of population, I might say. And what do we got here? We've got a gold mine, a water nanonode. I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up these. These are mana crystals. You found 81 mana, excellent. And let's see if I can cast Transform to Destruction Node. We can. So this is a strategic spell. It's like a global world map style spell. And it's going to take 2 turns to cast, so I'm going to have to figure out some other stuff to do for now. So maybe I'll look at doing some building with my city. Generally, I like to really focus on expansion. Because if my city gets larger, all of my stats go up. My gold per turn goes up, my production goes up. So I basically have like 6 different classes of buildings here. I have laboratories, which focus on research and support units. I have the Builders Hall, which focuses on builders and settlers, and it also gives me production. I have a wall, which will help if I get attacked. I have a storehouse, which helps me with growth. Shrine, which helps me with mana per turn. And also barracks, which will lead to upgrades that allow me to produce various warrior units. And their associated upgrades. So I really like growth, so I'm going to go for the storehouse. Now this game has this really cool feature that allows you to rush production of a building. It will cause the building to be completed in 1 turn instead of whatever it is. You have to pay an additional cost in gold relative to the duration that the building was going to, or the production cost. So I'm not going to rush this. It also makes your city less happy, which is a big deal. You can see here my city has a happiness. This is really important for their production values. So we can, my city here is content. And the happier your city is, it will actually buff these values here. So I get 0% bonus income from happiness currently. And the things that primarily affect your happiness are things that you do that are consistent with your ethos, or the ethos of the race, I think, and also area, the biome. So I'm in all wetlands right now, and so you can see all of these tiles are. I'm sorry. Here we go. Here's a wetlands. Here's a wetlands. These are all fertile plains. Wow. Okay. Well, no wonder my people aren't very happy. If I would have settled more over here, my people would have been much happier. But that's fine. I'm going to eventually expand and cover that place anyway. So we can see here, I just have like one liked terrain bonus, but it'll get bigger and bigger. My people are neutral about fertile plains. Also, there's one up here, so I actually did go in a pretty good spot. Great. So we're working on growth. Here we go. Here is my cavalry unit that I started with. Ooh, wow, what do we got up here? We've got a gold mine and a magma forge. My units can cross mountains. It's just at a very, very high movement cost. So I have 10 movement points. I could use 4 to move over these fertile plains. Or I could spend 14 to move over these mountains. I'm going to kind of start exploring over here since it seems like there's a big wall of... Oh, look, I can just go through that little pass right there. Okay, whatever. Tell this guy he's done for now. My armies actually suffer from this similar happiness thing where if I move over terrain I like, it's going to influence my happiness. So let's go ahead and... Oof. I really don't want to fight these Phantasm Warriors, but I'm going to have to. Let's just take one turn to heal. And be done. No more offers from dudes. So I healed just a teeny tiny bit. And it looks like... Okay, cool. So I got my army of 6 guys. Versus his 2. I can choose to bail if I want at this point. I can tell if I do auto combat, I can tell it to use my global spells, which would consume my mana and my casting points. I'm just going to go straight into manual combat. Alright. Here's a little intro scene. So there is a... Okay, it looks like they just guarded up. There is a global buff this battle. Recharging mana currents. The mana currents fuse themselves with supernatural beings. Replenishing those creatures' hit points. Restores 15 health to a friendly summoned unit or unit of magical origin each combat round. So he's going to be able to recover. Also, these guys are really important. Let's take a little look at them. So they're a melee unit with shock damage, and they hit pretty hard, 13 total. Or I'm sorry, 12. They have melee and ranged attacks, can cause the target to be shocked. Shocked units gain shock weakness, which is pretty good, and slows them. These guys are infantry, they have wall climbing. They're incorporeal, they have shields, so they get a armor bonus if you're attacking them from the front. They're floating, so they can cross all terrain for very cheap. They're magical, so they're weak to vanishing. They also have 60% physical protection and 40% shock protection. So my normal guys aren't going to be very good against these enemies. Which is really important to pay attention to. So my Goblin Butchers aren't going to be very good. However, my Blight Doctors, since they do pure blight damage, 8 blight damage, 0 physical component, are going to be very, very powerful. So let's go ahead and bring these Swarm Darters up. They have... So now these guys have a hybrid attack. You can see they have... here, they have 3 physical and 4 blight. So it's actually about 50-50 on their attack components. And these guys also have this ranged blight attack. And then the real winners here are going to be the Blight Doctors that have that triple potential attack. And let's just tell all these guys to guard. Move this guy here. Maybe I'll cast a spell. Fireball. Deals 10 physical and 12 fire damage to an opponent. I'm going to abort this spell because he's going to heal 15 health every turn. So if I do less than 15 damage, it will be a waste. I also have my Shock Bolt, which is going to be pretty bad in this fight. Alright, let's see if I can get them to come closer. Okay, looks like they're not. Which is fine. I might be able to get a strong double attack with my untouchables. I want to put him into a situation where if he chooses to attack one of my guys, he has to suffer attacks from my other guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see. Okay. So the poison spit can shoot 5. It doesn't actually tell you that, but 5 is the standard range, and then less than 3, you don't have the range debuff. So this ability does less damage at long range, so we have a range penalty as described here, but also it is a straight shot ability, so line of sight debuffs hit me even harder. Cool, that wasn't terrible. And we can even bring this guy in. Oh shoot, this isn't the guy I want. But also, this is not the guy I don't want. I'm gonna guard. Here's the guy I meant. I thought I was using the untouchable. I thought I was controlling my other untouchable, but I wasn't. Okay, we'll bring up our armies here. Let's go ahead and get this guy. Okay, so I've really done nothing this round. And that's fine. Let's let this guy come in here. He doesn't get a shot. But now he's kind of forced to move at this point. Wow, look how hard that guy hits. He just obliterated my swarm darters, even though they were in guard mode. However, it was a pretty good sacrifice from me. Because I have my Blight Doctors in range now. So I want my Blight Doctor to move right here, and then be in range of this shot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these untouchables over here. Cool, so notice how I'm not getting a shield bonus from him this round. And they're going to turn to face him now. So now I'm going to move my untouchables over here and do a similar thing. I'm going to do a ranged attack, which is pretty good, forcing him to turn around, which I guess isn't the best, but whatever. Ah, shoot, I line of sighted myself because I'm bad. Okay, what am I going to do here? Huh. This is gonna hurt. 8 to 12, 3 times. Oh, it's so much damage. Well, I have to do that because that's the best it's gonna get. I'm within close range. Wow, look at that. They almost obliterated that guy. Maybe if I do a fireball, I could finish this guy off. No. Okay, so I'm gonna not cast a spell quite yet. I'm gonna bring these butchers in and see if they can kill off this phantasm warrior. Ow! Cool. And when, normally, like if I cast shock bolts, I'm gonna have, oh, apparently no line of sight debuff for some odd reason. But I can still cast fireball, which is pretty good. Wow. Alright. And that's all I got. So, hopefully my counterattacks finish him off. He's only got 8 health left. Oh, no. Wait, I forgot. He gets a heal. So he's probably just going to obliterate these guys. Wow, his attacks are so strong. But that's fine. Cool, so now I'm not line of sighted anymore. Hooray! That they leveled up. Cool. I did it. Yes. Alright. Alright, I won and I lost 2 guys. I lost an untouchable and a swarm darter. The swarm darter was, I don't know, he was kind of a weird unit. At least for that fight. Okay, so I wanted to illustrate here. We can see this guy's now a veteran, or I'm sorry, a trooper. So as your units gain experience both from being in battles and also from getting killing blows, they will raise up in ranks and they'll gain stats. So the Blight Doctor gains +1 melee strength now and +4 hit points, which is really good. So as they get more experience, they become more survivable, assuming you don't get obliterated by a higher tier unit. So he's a trooper now. Once he reaches veteran, his ranged attacks will do +1 damage, each of them. So effectively, he'll be doing +3 damage per round, which is really good. And then when he reaches expert, same thing. And when he reaches elite, same thing again. And then also he is going to gain some other bonuses as well, which is really cool. And it's different depending on the unit. That's just that particular unit. I'm going to go ahead and relax. Let's go through here. What do we got? Some more stuff. We got a watchtower, and we've got a tomb. So this is really interesting. It actually gives me a bunch of different stats: production, gold, mana, and knowledge when it's in my domain. But in order to clear it of enemies, I have to delve into it and explore it, which usually means it's pretty strong enemies. I should come down here and clear this watchtower at some point, because that will give me vision. Oh, here we go. I can pick up... dang it. I can pick up these mana crystals. Whatever. What else do we got? So, my goal here is I want to start looking around for my opponent. Hello. Oh, this is not an opponent. This is actually an NPC race. They are good giants, I accept. They're offering me open borders and a peace treaty, so now I can walk in here. So I can actually vassalize these guys eventually, if that's something I care to do. Okay, so I need some army replacements. As much as I love traveling around with this Warg Rider, I'm actually going to send him back to rejoin my army now that I'm short 2 people. And they could afford to just hang out for a little while. So that is what I will have them do. I could summon another Wisp for combat, which is a really good idea, but I am currently casting that Transform Mana Node strategic spell, which is going to take 2 turns. Here's a Wizard Tower. Okay, here is a inn. I could also bring back my Warg, actually. Bring back your Warg Riders. Cool. Alright, so I have finished researching Magic Fist. So I have a new skill I can start learning. What do we got? Skin of Oil. Target enemy suffers -2 strength, -2 defense, -2 resistance, and plus 60% fire weakness. So this will make somebody weak to fire damage. And also just like generally weaken them, which is pretty good. If I can hit an enemy unit, it will reduce their damage, it will make it so I counterattack more damage onto them, and they're weaker to blight. Or I'm sorry, the resistance triggers their ability to resist a side effect, not necessarily the damage my abilities, my blight abilities do. Okay, let's go for... Dispel is really good. Sorcery is also really good. That will just give me more mana capacity. What's my mana capacity here? I can't see. Let's do that. Unit requires your orders. You just hang out there. Warg, you come back. Send out your Warg Riders. I want to go... Actually, I want to go over here and clear out this gold mine. So when my city expands in 2 turns, I will be able to reap the gold rewards from that location. Let's go ahead and transform this destruction node. Actually, not yet. Here we go, we get to see the animation. So this is a global ability that turns this basic mana node, which gives me 10 mana to my city per turn, and I'm going to transform it into a destruction type, which I am attuned with. Alright. So now it gives plus 15 mana and plus 5 research. So this will help me research technologies faster. Plus 5 knowledge. Which is awesome. Let's continue scouting around here. Oops. Do I have one? Haste berries. Nice. When you walk over haste berries, you get all your movement points back. Some dudes. Spring of Life. Ooh, that's fantastic. So you don't want to end your turn next to an enemy like I just did. I have no more movement points, which is terrible. Because sometimes they hop off the node and try to kill you. Dang it. What do we got? An independent army. 3 orc scoundrels. Which are independent. They're not associated with my opponent this game. My opposing empire, I should say. And they're just going to kill it. I'm going to auto-combat and keep it going. Good work. You failed me, Scout. Who's this guy? An army some units offer to join you. What is this? Goblin Marauder. For 29 gold. I'll take it. They also inflict a upkeep on me, so the more units I have, the more money it costs to maintain them every turn. Okay. Where's that warg? He's right here. 8 melee damage. 10 melee damage. Infantry wall climbing. Shields, blight protection. Okay. So I'm going to take these infantry and not the warg. Units tremble in fear before you, so they might just evacuate. If I let them run, I get good points. If I show no mercy, I get evil points. I'm going for evil because I'm a destruction-affiliated guy. Manual combat. Spiders. So, spiders. They often have this ability that allows them to teleport. Webbing Touch, basically stun an enemy for 2 turns. Got a warg, and here we go. Phase teleports a target. So this is these hunter spiders are really good because they can teleport behind you and get a flanking attack, which is really good. Let's send in our warg riders. No, let's not get too far ahead. We want the Untouchables and the Marauders coming in front. And then the Butchers close behind. The Butchers have, what? Melee Strike for 13. The Marauders have Melee Strike for 10. So the Butchers are much stronger and have Lifesteal, so they're definitely a more damage-focused unit. But the Marauders have shields. Oh, that's funny. The Butchers actually have more, jeez. Oh, that's why. The Butchers are a tier 2 unit. That's why they're strictly better. And the Marauders are only a tier 1. But they have shields, which gives them, plus 2 defense against non-flanking attacks. So that gives them roughly 12 if the person's attacking in the right direction. Which is pretty good. Obviously the Butchers are way better. Everybody just guard. And I'm actually going to have this Warg Rider kind of come around to a flanking position. Let's see if this guy teleports. Okay. So he did a little bit of a resistance test there and failed. Most spells will do a intended effect if they succeed, but if they fail, they usually do something good still. So this one says, attempts to web target enemy unit. Web units cannot take action for 2 turns, and corporeal units are not affected. And I think this is off of, it does a check off of your defense. I think it doesn't actually tell me what it does when it fails, but he took away some of my action points is what the effect was. Alright, so this Hunter Spider baby is going to retaliate with a physical and light type attack, 7 and 4. Fortunately, when he retaliates, I have a blight protection, so that's really nice. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do this little trick here. Oh, this is going to suck. But I'm going to move off to the side, which means as I disengage from melee range, I actually have to suffer an attack of opportunity. So, like, if this guy wants to move, he has to suffer an attack of opportunity from my guys. But now that that's over with, I am going to force him to face me this direction. And now I have a flanking attack, so that means he will only retaliate one time as opposed to 3 times. Bam! Flanking, okay, turns around, and then he gets eliminated. Good work. Oh, so I see. I flanked him, and his first retaliation was to turn around and face me, and then I attacked him a second time, which just killed the enemy, so he didn't get a second counterattack. Now, the idea behind these Marauders is I generally come in and engage myself with opponents and force them to suffer retaliatory strikes if they want to disengage or if they want to move around me, or just fight me, and then I will do equal damage to them with retaliatory strikes. These untouchables are going to get wrecked. They have much less armor, defense, than the Marauders. I really don't actually want to attack this guy. This is actually kind of bad for me here. Huh. Dread Spider Babies and Wargs. I think I have to bring in the Untouchables for a sacrifice. Let's go ahead and hit this guy. Cool. And more importantly, they're going to protect these Marauders from getting flanked, which will negate their shield bonus. And I line of sighted myself. Cool. Line of sight. Not line of sight, but range penalty. Also, these spiders seem to be resistant to blight, so anybody who does pure blight damage, like these guys, are in a bad spot. This guy is not blight resistant, so I'm going to try to use my blight doctors to kill him when I get an opportunity. Range medium. Ooh, I can cast weakening. Oh, this is something useful. Weakened. Let's weaken this guy. Oops. It also removes his blight debuff, or his blight resistance, which is awesome. And it like lowers a bunch of his stats, lowers his armor and his resistance and his happiness. I could fight these Dread Spider Babies, but he's gonna counterattack for 1,000,000 damage. So if I just shield, I'll get all the benefits of guarding, but I'll still get a similar number of attacks in, because there'll be retaliatory strikes. And maybe I'll back this Warg off. And guard. We'll see how this goes. I'm worried that he's gonna like run around and try to flank me. Okay, cool, so he's just gonna run in and web. And obliterate those guys. Looks like these guys decided instead of fighting me 3 times, they were just going to run away and suffer an attack of retaliation instead, which is fine. Okay, so these guys are now engaged with the butchers, which is really good. My blight doctors are protected, which is really good. And I suffer this glorious awesomeness of the Dread Spider Baby now. Since he is suffering from the weakened effect, his blight resistance is now flipped over into a blight weakness, which is awesome. So I'm going to get a bunch of damage on him. Ah, awesome. And we could try now to bust down this Warg, which is pretty sick. Let's do that. Okay, so, he's got these fumbling attacks here, which he gets from being low morale, and which is being actually driven by the disgusted effect of my untouchables. And so the crit system in this game is basically managed by happiness. So if your units are happier, they're more likely to do a crit, and if they're unhappy, they're more likely to do like a fumble, which is a glancing kind of attack. But this warg is now hosed, because I'm going to come up behind him with these guys and flank him. And all that's left now is to kill the Dread Spider Baby, which means I got to keep these untouchables alive, which is awesome, because they were in dire straits. Good work, boys. Cool, it looks like my untouchables got promoted to trooper rank, and my butchers also got promoted to trooper rank. Good deal. And I got some loot of 59 gold. Awesome. Let's go explore this direction. Get some gold on the ground. And enter. Boom! Good timing. Looks like these guys have a quest for me. So my city grew. So a couple things happened. Is first, I picked up this gold mine. So my gold went from like 3 per turn now to like crazy. We can actually break it down here. We see I have 10 as my base income, and then we have an additional 10 from this gold mine here. Also, because my people are happy, they're actually happier than they were before, because I have more wetlands in my city now. So that happiness is increasing my gold production by a little bit as well, and then he's planning on taking the merchandise action, which means I haven't queued up anything for him. Okay, so my storehouse completed. Let's go ahead and make a builder's hall. This will allow us to build builders and settlers, and also give us 20 production, which will almost double our production, which is really good. Okay, looks like my army's doing alright. Slotor has grown into a village. Okay, so these guys have a quest for me. What does it say? We have an urgent matter to discuss. It could improve the relations between our people. Some envious wizard has cast a bunch of magical creatures that keep bugging us. Will you get rid of them? Tell me more about this. Drive away the creatures. Okay, so he wants me to kill some enemies in his domain, and he'll give me an ogre, which is a tier 3 monster and amazing. So let's pursue that. Let's head down there. And hopefully I don't get wrecked by brigands like this. Here is a brigand hideout. So I need to be really wary of that. This will randomly spawn enemies, barbarians, that can come and destroy my town, since there's no units defending my town right now. So I need to be very aware of where my enemies are. In fact, I can even station this warg in the town if I'm really concerned. Looks like I have an offer from a hero. Let's see what she has to say. A level 2 sorcerer. I don't really want that. I want someone a little bit more combat focused now that I already have a sorcerer. So I'm going to tell her I need a different type of hero. Domain of the Sun. Target friendly city and unit station within that city's domain now like tropical and volcanic terrain. Machine undead creatures of magical origin are not affected. Kind of weird. Okay. Chain lightning. That's very good. Harmonizing energy. Sends out wave of magical energy through a unit's body that stabilizes its physical state, healing 30 damage. Terraformer, hasty plunder. Okay, so sorcery is going to increase the number of spells I can cast per turn, which is really good, so I'm going to go for that. And there's various levels to that effect as well. Okay, my untouchables could really go for some health. These guys have some kind of... Oh, wetland foraging. Okay, yeah, so this is a special racial ability of goblins here. This unit is totally home in swampy environments. If it starts its turn on a wetlands hex, it will heal an extra 9. Cool, so I'm actually going to do that. I'm just going to stop right here, because this is a wetlands hex. Oh, fuck, it's not. I thought it was. here is a Wetlands Hex, which will cause him to heal a large number of points per turn. I'm going to go ahead and just park this guy here so I don't get sniped by brigands. And select the next turn. That guy got a huge heal from that, so we're going to use that to attack. Well, skip the watchtower for now. It's not really that important. So let's go over and try to answer this guy's quest. What do we got here? An Arch Druid. Show me your talents. What do you got? Shoot longbow, cast spell. A human. Humans don't really like blighted. Mounted. She's not really what I want either. Let's go ahead and just keep that guy there. Alright, what is it this time? A Dwarf Theocrat. What do you got? Cast spells, Spirit Ray, fast healing, cool. Charge, that's great. Devout. Bonus damage versus Heretic. And Unholy Enemies. Mountaineering, Blight Protection. That's kind of good. Because I'm all Blight themed. But what do dwarves like here? Mountaineering, Cave Crawling. They dislike Tropical, they hate Blighted, and they like mountains and coastal mountains. Not now. He's a kind of a lot of... He's like 100 gold, and I'm only getting... Well, I'm doing okay now. I'm getting 27 per turn. I was getting 4 not that long ago. Alright, let's see if we can find these magical creatures that they were telling me about. What is that? That's not them, is it? These are giants. Where's these enemies of yours, big guy? Some units offered to join your forces for 29 gold. I accept. Go ahead and sit in my base. Free guys early game. I like it. Okay, so they've hunted me down and are now attacking me. They are wisps. I will manual combat. This should be pretty doable, right? Independence attack. Oh, since I'm defending, one, I can't run. Or maybe I can if I just get past them. That's interesting. But two, I get to go first. So we'll send in the butchers. So here's the thing about wisps. They have physical protection. 60% physical protection. So any physical attack is going to be very weak against them. They also have this static shield ability. Anytime an enemy unit performs a melee or touch attack against this unit, the enemy unit receives 5 shock damage and has a chance to be stunned, allowing them not to take an action. Incorporeal can pass through walls. Phase allows them to teleport like that spider did. So these guys, they only have 16 health, but with their physical resistance, and if they manage to snipe one of my blight-themed units, I can be in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully I can encourage them to attack my melee units instead. And then I will have to deal with that. Blight Doctor. Also, these guys have a shock-themed. Pretty weak, 6 damage, half physical, half, whatever it's called. And I'm totally on board with casting Fireball. This does physical damage, this does fire damage. 8 to 12 fire and 4 physical. 4 to 6 physical, it's not bad. Cool, one shot, I like it. Let's go ahead and let's go here. Guard. So when they do that teleportation, they cannot move that round. Let's see if I can actually get a description of it. This is really nice. Teleports to target unoccupied hex in combat. Requires 3 action points, range long. So range long is 5, I think. And can only be used once per battle. So they can't move and then teleport to me. And if they do teleport to me, they only get 1 attack since they spent all 3 action points doing the teleport. You always get 1 for attacking for some reason, even if you spend all 3 moving. I don't really understand how it works. This game is weird. So my shock bolts aren't going to be particularly useful. I could just go ahead and summon another fireball on their heads. Let's seems nice. Good. Let's go ahead here, and Blight Doctors are now within short range, and this guy has a Blight weakness. I didn't even realize. Destroyed. Good work. It's pretty doable. Drive away the creatures completed. Reward Ogre. I will take the reward. Is that a bug? Please tell me I got 3 ogres. Oh my god, I just got 3 ogres because of a bug in the game. Oh, no, that's their ogres. Never mind. Okay, all is well. Boom. So Ogre is a tier 3 monster unit. Let's see what they got. Melee strike for 21 damage. 66 health, monster. So this is particularly useful for monster killer and giant killer traits. He also has mountaineering, so he can crush over mountains. It's pretty easy. And he can damage walls. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go clear out this vision tower. What is this? Research the arcane currents flowing through this world. Empire upgrade. Alchemic laboratories and observatories generate an additional 5 science, which is pretty amazing. That's pretty good. Sure, we'll do that. I got a hero join offer. It's the same guy. Tyrober White Metal. Oh, get out of here. Oh, it looks like I finished my builder's hall. That's awesome. So now building any basic building is much, much easier. I'm actually gonna go for this public baths. This just gives my city additional happiness, which is really good. Yeah. I could also go for the siege workshop to get additional production. Public baths. Let's just take those guys. Enter. Hey, my city grew again. Oh, here's some brigands. Get out of here. Okay, so Slotor has grown into a town. Alright, my production went way up. And now I'm at 608 population. And 10 turns. Okay. Cool. Wow, look how far we've gotten. How long has it been? Almost an hour? Okay, guys, so this has been a great video. I hope you've seen. I've shown a lot of what this game has to offer. The game has even more to offer, which I will show you in the near future if you care to continue watching. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you next time in the next video. See you later.